Welcome, money magicians. Today, we're revealing a timeless treasure of financial mastery, how to live off interest and build wealth. The secret? Spending only the interest while safeguarding your principal. It may sound simple, but this powerful strategy is what keeps the wealthy thriving generation after generation. Ready to unlock your own path to enduring prosperity? Let's dive in. Now, before we dive into the details, let me set the stage with a story. Picture this. A man named Jonathan inherits $1 million from his late grandfather. Instead of going on a spending spree, Jonathan invests it all in dividend-paying stocks. Every year, he earns $50,000 in interest, enough to live comfortably without touching a dime of the principal. Contrast this with his cousin, who also inherited $1 million but burned through it within 5 years. The result? Jonathan's wealth keeps growing while his cousin is back to square one. That's the power of spending the interest, not the principal. Today, we'll explore how you can adopt this strategy, build lasting wealth, and even pass it down to future generations. Buckle up, because this ride is about to change how you think about money forever. Subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Let's set the stage with the core principle, decoding the dynamic between interest and principal. Let's dig deeper into why this concept is a game changer. Imagine your financial principal as a well that supplies water to an entire village. That well must remain full for the community to thrive year after year. The water drawn daily, that's the interest. As long as the well remains full, the community thrives indefinitely. But what happens when the villagers become reckless and start draining the well dry? Eventually it runs out, and survival becomes a struggle. This is exactly what happens when people spend their principal. The interest, the income generated from your investments, is renewable, but the principal is finite. The wealthy understand this difference, which is why they fiercely protect their principal while enjoying the fruits of its labor. Here's a practical example. Let's say you have $1 million invested in dividend-paying stocks that yield 5% annually. That's $50,000 in yearly interest. If you live within that $50,000 budget, your $1 million remains untouched and continues to generate the same, or even more, income over time. But if you dip into that $1 million for extra expenses, not only do you reduce the principal, but you also reduce the amount of interest it can generate. This principle also applies to businesses. Companies like Apple never eat into their financial reserves unnecessarily. Instead, they rely on profits, essentially their interest, to fund operations and growth. This strategy is why they remain powerhouses. Finally, let's address a common misconception. Living off interest doesn't mean you have to settle for less. It means you're optimizing your wealth for sustainability. You're playing the long game. In essence, understanding interest versus principal is about shifting your mindset from short-term gains to long-term wealth preservation. Think of it as building not just for yourself, but for your legacy. Now that we've clarified the core principle, let's talk about how to spend the interest, not the principal, by choosing the right assets. Wealthy individuals don't rely on luck. They rely on strategy. Their portfolios are carefully crafted to generate consistent income streams without depleting the original investment. Take dividend-paying stocks, for example. Companies like Johnson & Johnson and Coca-Cola have been paying dividends for decades, even during economic downturns. This consistency allows investors to count on regular cash flows. But here's an insider tip. Focus on companies that increase their dividends annually. These dividend aristocrats grow your income over time, outpacing inflation. Real estate is another favorite of the wealthy. Rental properties, commercial buildings, or even REITs, real estate investment trusts, generate steady monthly income. Unlike stock dividends, real estate income often comes with tax advantages like depreciation, making it even more attractive. Bonds, while less glamorous, are the bedrock of stability. Municipal bonds, in particular, offer tax-free interest income, a favorite among high-net-worth individuals. For those with higher risk tolerance, high-yield corporate bonds provide better returns, though they require more due diligence. Now, here's a lesser-known strategy: investing in intellectual property. Royalties from books, music, or patents can generate passive income for decades. Think of it as planting an orchard that produces fruit year after year. And remember Jonathan from earlier? His success wasn't random. He chose investments that paid him consistently, like dividend stocks and rental properties. That's the secret sauce. Focus on assets that create cash flow. A contrarian view? Avoid chasing trends like crypto or penny stocks unless they fit into a broader income-focused strategy. The wealthy prioritize stability over hype, and so should you. All right, let's shift gears and delve into the golden rule of wealth creation, understanding why tapping into your principal can unravel financial stability and jeopardize long-term prosperity. Let's break down why touching your principal is a financial no-no. Spending principal is like eating the seed corn meant for next year's harvest. Sure, you'll satisfy your hunger today, but you'll starve tomorrow. A historical example is the Great Depression. Families who hoarded cash but spent their principal often found themselves destitute when the economic crisis dragged on. In contrast, those who preserved their wealth, investing in assets that generated consistent income, weathered the storm and even prospered during the recovery. Here's a modern-day scenario. Imagine you inherit $500,000 and decide to invest it in a balanced portfolio yielding 6% annually. That's $30,000 a year in interest income. But let's say you decide to splurge on a $100,000 luxury car. You've not only lost that chunk of principal, but you've also reduced your future income by $6,000 annually, 6% of $100,000. It's a double loss. Here's the irony. Most people think dipping into principal gives them financial freedom, but it actually chains them to a cycle of dependency. The more you spend, the harder it becomes to sustain your lifestyle. On the flip side, preserving principal creates a compounding effect. Every dollar you don't spend has the potential to grow, adding to your interest income year after year. It's like planting a tree that bears more fruit each season. Let me ask you, would you rather live a life of temporary luxury or enjoy perpetual financial stability? The answer should be clear. Stick to the golden rule. Spend the interest, protect the principal, and your wealth will never betray you. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. Moving forward, let's unlock the rich mindset, delving into how the wealthy approach spending and saving. Let's peel back the curtain on how the wealthy really think about money. To them, wealth isn't about having the most. It's about keeping the most. Here's a fascinating anecdote. In 1928, when John D. Rockefeller's financial advisor was asked how Rockefeller became so rich, his response was, he always saved a portion of what his money earned and reinvested it. That's the rich mindset in a nutshell. They don't just earn money, they make their money earn for them. A personal story illustrates this well. My friend Sarah once confided that her wealthy mentor taught her a mantra: treat your principal like it's gone forever. Only the interest exists for spending. This approach helped Sarah build a portfolio that generates $50,000 annually, enough to cover her lifestyle while her principal continues to grow. The wealthy see spending as a strategic decision. It's not about deprivation, it's about ensuring longevity. They'll splurge on experiences or investments that align with their values, but avoid frivolous expenses that offer no return. The irony? The wealthy also avoid the lottery winner mentality. You know, the idea that sudden riches mean endless spending sprees. Statistics show that 70% of lottery winners go broke within 5 years. Why? They treat their principal as disposable, not sacred. The lesson here is clear. Adopt the mindset of the wealthy. Start seeing your money as a tool for freedom, not a fuel for short-term indulgence. Protect the goose, enjoy the eggs, and watch your financial future soar. Let's dive into the art of portfolio design, armed with game-changing strategies to elevate your interest income to new heights. To live off the interest and grow wealth, you need a portfolio designed for income, not just growth. Let's dive into how to build that. First, understand the 3 pillars of an income-focused portfolio. Stocks that pay dividends. Look for dividend aristocrats, companies with a long history of paying and increasing dividends. For example, Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola have delivered consistent income for decades. Fixed income investments. Bonds, especially municipal bonds, provide steady interest payments and often come with tax benefits. For higher returns, consider corporate bonds, but do your homework to assess risk. Real estate investments. Rental properties generate monthly income, but you don't have to buy physical property. REITs, real estate investment trusts, offer similar benefits without the hassle of being a landlord. Second, balance is key. Don't overload your portfolio with high-yield assets that come with high risk. Diversification ensures you'll have stable income even if one asset class underperforms. Here's a lesser-known strategy: dividend reinvestment plans, DRIPs. These allow you to reinvest dividends automatically, compounding your returns over time. It's like planting seeds that grow into more income-generating plants. Lastly, keep inflation in mind. A portfolio yielding 5% might seem great, but if inflation is 3%, your real return is only 2%. To counteract this, consider assets like Treasury Inflation-Protected Securities, TIPS, or growth-oriented investments that balance your income strategy. And here's where you come in. Comment below. What's your favorite income-generating investment? Let's exchange ideas and learn from each other. All right, now that you're equipped with powerful strategies to boost your interest income, it's time to explore the exciting journey of living off your investments while building lasting wealth. Let's bring this concept to life with some real-world examples of people thriving by spending the interest, not the principal. These are stories of individuals who mastered this approach and built sustainable wealth. First, meet Michael. Michael retired at 45 after working as a financial analyst for 2 decades. What's his secret? He invested heavily in dividend-paying stocks and real estate. Today, his portfolio generates $80,000 annually in interest and rental income. Michael and his family enjoy a comfortable lifestyle without ever touching the $2 million he saved during his working years. His principal remains intact and even grows over time, thanks to reinvestment and market appreciation. Then there's Amanda. Amanda worked as a teacher for 30 years, carefully saving her money in a mix of municipal bonds and REITs. She built a $500,000 portfolio by retirement, which now pays her $25,000 annually in tax-free interest. That income covers her modest expenses, and her principal acts as a financial safety net, untouched and ready to grow further. Now let's add a fascinating twist, the case of Sam Walton, founder of Walmart. Walton wasn't just known for his business acumen. He also lived a surprisingly frugal lifestyle despite his vast wealth. By investing profits back into his business and focusing on sustainable returns, Walton ensured Walmart became a financial empire while preserving his wealth for future generations. What these examples teach us is simple. How to spend the interest, not the principal, isn't just a theory, it's a proven strategy. It's the key to financial independence and a lifestyle that isn't dictated by the fear of running out of money. Here's the challenge for you. Could you live off the interest from your investments? Think about how much principal you'd need and what steps you can take to get there. All right, let's dive into the next transformative topic, the art of patience, a cornerstone of discipline and the key to unlocking enduring success. Let's face it, patience isn't exactly a popular virtue in today's world. We want instant results, instant gratification, and instant success. But when it comes to building wealth, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a necessity. Here's an idea to help you understand. Imagine planting a vineyard. The first few years are all about hard work and waiting. There's no wine yet, but the vines are growing stronger. Then, after several years of care and patience, the vineyard starts producing wine that gets better with age. That's how wealth works. You nurture it, give it time, and let the interest flow. Now let's look at some stats. A study by Morningstar found that investors who stayed invested in dividend stocks for 20 years saw their portfolios grow by an average of 8% annually, even through market downturns. Those who panicked and sold during volatile times missed out on this growth. Patience also pays off when you reinvest your interest early on. Let's say you earn $10,000 in annual interest and reinvest it at a 6% return. After 10 years, that $10,000 grows into $13,382. Now multiply that by multiple years of compounding. It's a snowball effect that turns small returns into substantial wealth. Here's the irony. We're often impatient for money, yet the most reliable way to grow it is to give it time. The wealthy understand this. They don't rush to cash out their investments or chase quick gains. They trust the process, knowing that slow and steady wins the race. Ask yourself, are you willing to wait for financial freedom? If you can cultivate patience, you'll unlock the true power of spending the interest, not the principal. Let's uncover the secrets to avoiding common pitfalls, costly missteps that can erode your principal and undermine your path to lasting wealth. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to fall into traps that deplete your principal and derail your financial goals. Let's explore some of the most common mistakes and how to avoid them. The first pitfall is lifestyle inflation. This happens when your income grows, and instead of saving or reinvesting, you increase your spending to match or exceed it. Think of someone who starts earning $100,000 a year and suddenly trades in their perfectly fine car for a $70,000 luxury SUV. That's not building wealth, that's sabotaging it. The wealthy avoid this trap by living below their means even when their income soars. The second mistake? Ignoring inflation altogether. Let's say your portfolio generates $40,000 in interest annually, but inflation eats away 3% of its purchasing power every year. In 10 years, that $40,000 will feel more like $30,000. To counteract this, focus on investments like dividend stocks or real estate, which typically grow faster than inflation. Another pitfall is over-withdrawing during emergencies. While life happens, and unexpected expenses arise, having an emergency fund outside your principal is crucial. This prevents you from dipping into your wealth-building assets. Lastly, many people fall into the trap of chasing high-risk investments that promise quick returns. While the allure of doubling your money overnight is tempting, it often leads to losses that take years to recover. Remember, sustainable wealth is built on consistency, not speculation. Financial education is your best defense against these pitfalls. Visit our channel's playlist on financial literacy to learn how to protect your wealth and build a solid foundation for long-term success. Finally, let's wrap up with a topic that extends beyond your lifetime: building a financial legacy. Preserving principal isn't just about ensuring your own financial stability. It's about creating a foundation for future generations. Consider the Rockefeller family. John D. Rockefeller didn't just amass wealth, he created a system for preserving it. Through trust funds, strategic investments, and a focus on spending only the interest, his family remains wealthy over 100 years later. This wasn't luck, it was careful planning and an unyielding commitment to protecting the principal. Now, let's bring this closer to home. Imagine you've built a $1 million portfolio and live off the $50,000 it generates annually. Instead of depleting your wealth, you pass it on to your children, teaching them the same principle of living off interest. That $1 million could sustain not just your lifestyle, but theirs as well. A contrarian view worth considering. Not everyone believes in leaving money to their kids. Some argue that financial independence should be earned. However, even if you don't plan to leave your wealth directly, preserving your principal ensures it can fund charitable causes or initiatives that matter to you. As Andrew Carnegie famously said, "The man who dies rich dies disgraced." Use your wealth to create opportunities, whether for your family or your community. Remember, the secret to lasting wealth isn't just about what you earn. It's about what you preserve. Stick to spending the interest, protecting the principal, and building a legacy that outlives you. And there you have it, how to live off interest and build wealth. The key lies in spending only the interest while preserving your principal, unlocking the secret to enduring financial success. If you found value in today's video, I recommend watching the next video. Hit the like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more wealth-building insights. Until next time, keep your goose alive, enjoy the golden eggs, and secure your financial future. See you in the next one.